philosophy. In the 60s, where you had like the brown berets, we had Restigarina over here in New Mexico, there were a lot of people that were advocating violence, and Cesar very, very strongly believed in nonviolence. I don't know specifically what you're talking about. There were a lot of Quakers, Joe Gunnerman, that I can think about, a few other people that we were very close to, even starting in the days of CSO. Maybe if we talk later, we might remember who that person was. But that was Cesar's commitment. I mean, Cesar and I used to have these conversations in the community service organization. He even wanted to do ashrams, you know, like Gandhi. They have these like little pueblitos where people would live, and they would all, live very poorly, and that they would give all of their money to help other people and to organize. And in a way, when we started the Union La Paz was like that, because none of us earned wages, you know. Like I said, we used to live on donations. We used to get $5 a week for personal expenses, and it went to $10 a week, right? But we had all of our rent paid for, and we had, our food. But Cesar never wanted any of the organizers to earn more than the farm workers did. And later, of course, that has changed now. You have to know that, right? And I say that also for people that want to organize with the farm workers. You can get paid now to organize, right? Before, you had to work for $10 a week, now you don't anymore. But that was Cesar's philosophy. He really wanted that to happen very badly. But of course, with all of the battles that we had with the Gores, he was never able to put all of his dreams, and make them a reality. Somebody else over here?
Yeah, I saw somebody passing out postcards about the Taco Bell boycott.
Oh, I have it right here. We're going to announce a Taco Bell boycott, okay? As we know, the tomato workers in Florida are having a really hard time, and their request is really, really simple. Just don't buy Taco Bell, right? No quiero Taco Bell. No quiero Taco Bell. And by the way, the organizer of the boycott, Lucas Benitez, is going to receive the Robert Kennedy Courageous Award on November the 20th. Okay, so it's not also for you guys and the Taco Bell workers. Okay, you're doing a really good job. By the way, those same companies that are out there in Florida are also in California. One of the guys, his name is Formes. He's a Espanol. When he was from my hometown in Stockton, and that guy is worth $50 million in just one of his companies. He has 3 companies. He has companies in California, Florida, and in Sinaloa, Mexico. Very rich, and they won't pay their workers anything. Okay, back there in the middle.
Yeah, I wonder if you can talk about what your vision for the future of the labor movement is, what you see in the future of labor.
Well, the labor movement, as you know, is under a vicious attack in our country. I mean, our President Bush he's attacking labor, he's attacking the environment, he's going after women, women's organizations, and the trial lawyers for the attorneys in the room. You're a target of the Bush administration also. So the labor movement is really having a hard time. We've lost so many manufacturing jobs that have gone overseas. So the growth in the labor movement has been primarily with the service industries, right? So I think that we're in a really difficult time. And that's, again, talking about something scary. When you look at any totalitarian government, whether it was Nazi Germany or the Soviet Union, whenever they go after labor unions, that's the middle class of a country. Labor unions are the ones that create the middle class. And so that makes it very, very dangerous for our world when the middle class is destroyed. And that's what's happening right now in our country. Because labor unions are the ones that create the middle class. Because labor unions are the only way that you can distribute the wealth from the rich to the poor. So when they get rid of the labor movement like they're doing now, it makes it a very dangerous time. And so we've got to start thinking about ways, how can we stop these runaway companies? These companies, they go to Mexico, to the maquiladoras over there, they take their jobs to China, to Asia, where they're taking them, and then they bring the goods back here to the United States, and then we, the consumers, are the ones that support these companies, right? And how can they do it? Because they don't have to pay tariffs on their goods, because they're American companies. They go over there, they make the goods, and then they bring them back. But in the meantime, people here don't have the jobs, so eventually, how are you going to have the money to buy all this stuff, right, that they're bringing over from overseas, So we've got to start thinking about some strategies, and this is again where our politicians come in. Just recently, in the paper, by the way, I tell people, if you want to read the crime page, read the business section, right? Because all of these guys should be going to jail. Not that they're going to go to jail because they have, they pay their attorneys a lot of money. But these are the guys that are stealing from us, taxpayers, stealing from the investors, stealing from everybody, these corporations. Anyway, there was an article, I guess a couple of weeks ago, which said that there's a bill to give amnesty to these corporations so that they don't have to pay taxes. How about that? They want to give them like an amnesty, I think it's for 18 months or a year, I can't remember exactly. But, in addition to the fact that they're taking the jobs out of the country, now we're saying, okay, you don't have to pay any taxes on what you're making, So these are things that we really have to start thinking about. When you think about that we live in a capitalist society, and yet very few of us understand the economics of the United States of America, right? How many students are taught how to read, those little statistics that they have about the stocks and the bonds, or how the whole economy works? I mean, so we are really kind of ignorant when you come back down to it, and all of these things are going on with our money, right? Our tax dollars, and we have no control over what's going on. So I think that the future of the labor movement is going to have to come back to the way it was back in the 30s and the 40s when the people took to the streets, the way they built the movement in New York, here in New Mexico, and all of the other places where labor was active. We've got to get everybody involved to support working people, right? Because we have to remember what? Workers' rights are human rights, right? Workers' rights are human rights. And another thing that I can say in the economic movement, cada trabajador es un organizador. Every worker is an organizer, right? Remember that. And everybody has to support labor. When you see people out on strike and they're trying to organize, if you have somebody, a relative, a primo, compadre, anybody that you know should be paying dues to the teachers union, tell them to pay their dues, right? Yes. The lifeblood of the union is dues, it's money. It's just like without taxes, you can't have police, you can't have firemen, you can't have paved streets, right? You can't have a civil society. And we can't have a civil society without unions. And unions could not live unless people paid their dues to the organization to give it the blood that it needs, the life that it needs, okay? So we have to start indoctrinating and talk about what John Sweeney calls a union city, okay? Hopefully that will be Albuquerque, right? Will be a union city.